In this box is the Diadora Maximus Elite ITA, or Italy, T SLX. Let's hop straight into the unboxing. Now, there's a beautiful history behind this pair of football boots, and this box actually happens to be really epic as well. It's this really nice texture. You get Diadora Calcio made in Italy with that Italian flag there, both on that side and on this side as well. So as we can see here, you've got the size chart. So the Maximus Elite ITA T SLX in the white, chili pepper, and russet. Very interesting. Basically white, orange, and red is what that is. UK 8, a US 9, a 10.5 in women's US, a 42 euro, and a 26.5 in Japan, or 26.5 centimeters. Now, this boot has a lot of history, and I want to get into it as we get these unboxed. Really lovely drawer style box from Diadora. You get a very nice fabric string bag here, so this is a really nice, it feels very, very high quality. I like that they provide something a little bit different, and it feels a little bit more handmade than other brands as well. As you guys know from previous reviews of Diadora boots, I'm sort of hit or miss about Diadora. I think their leather quality is really good, particularly with boots like this, which have a nice and plush forefoot. There's another Maximus edition that does have a similar midfoot to the Veloce, so I will do my best to review those. I will probably review those right after this one, but I wanted to kind of give you a preface of my history with Diadora, because I think the Maximus is going to be a really interesting boot to review, but the context is I've had sort of hit or miss experiences with Diadora. So I'm going to try my best to be as objective as possible, and know that I had a really great experience in these, but not so great of experience in an old pair of Brazils. So anyway, we'll go from there. But you get a nice little pamphlet here as well, which if we open it up, very cool. First of all, this picture just screams craftsmanship as well. So I'm gonna read this really quick and you guys can take a look at that nice photo. So it says, this model is ultra soft premium leather made in Italy in the world famous Montebelluna shoemaking district, expert in the manufacture of sports footwear and home to authentic niches of excellence. This is where the, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, Carano San Macro based Diadora production plant in operation since 1948 is located. Outstanding know-how in the design and development of footwear and use of original and up-to-date machinery make this shoe an innovative product of the highest quality. Meticulous selection of raw materials and keen attention to detail reflect the passion that still, after more than 60 years, Diadora devotes to styling research and expresses in every aspect of the product. And then it says it here in Italian, and if this video gets 10,000 likes, I will go and I will read this on my Instagram in Italian. Yeah, okay, I wish I could read Italian because it's a beautiful language. But anyway, very, very cool little pamphlet here. All right, Diadora Maximus, here we go. Ooh. Whoa. Look at that leather. Holy. Interesting. The construction of these is so much different. Like, they feel so much different in hand to other Diadora pairs that I've had, particularly with like some of this rear foot, like rear quarter paneling, and this leather is just really beautiful straight out of the box. That, like, this is so soft. Goodness gracious. Nice micro suede here. Little tongue action. That's a very small tongue. I don't know why they made it so little, but that's all right. Interesting color as well. Yes, they made a gold edition. I tried to get the gold ones, and the gold ones don't exist in my size anymore. As in, they all sold out, which is really sad for me, because I like the gold a lot better than these. But it's a decent looking pair of football boots. It's not my favorite. They're but the football boot itself feels really excellent. So let's get the other one out of the box. Here you go. There's that left peg. And we'll wrap this guy up. Throw it down here. Perfect. All right. So the Diadora Maximus Elite ITA T SLX. here we go. So a little bit of tech specs and history about the Diadora Maximus. So this goes back to the 2006-2007 era, where from 2005 to the mid 2009, Francesco Totti, who obviously played for Roma, he's one of the most incredible midfielders of all time, number 10. So he was with Diadora from 2005 to mid 2009, and he wore the Diadora Maximus 14, which was obviously the original or in time or in era version of this football boot in the 2006, 2007, and a little bit in the 2008 season. Back then, this particular model was renowned for the quality and craftsmanship. And Totti wore a pair of all white with the red accents. He wore a pair of all blue with the white accents for the World Cup in 2006, which he won with Italy. And then he also wore a gold pair of Maximus, the gold pair that I actually tried to get of these that I'll put a photo up on screen of. Those ones are not quite a one-to-one, but they're a very similar colorway to the Maximus 14 that he wore back in 2006 and 7 after winning the World Cup. So similar to nowadays when people win the Golden Ball, the Ballon d'Or, or other like top scorer awards, a lot of brands will do custom gold editions for that particular player. Totti in, I believe, 2005 or 2006, don't quote me on that, but in one of those seasons he won the Golden Ball. And so as a midfielder number 10, he was scoring a ton of goals. I think he had like 36 goals that season. Amazing, amazing footballer. You guys should go watch Totti highlights. He is incredible. He's one of the best midfielders of all time. Easily one of my favorite to watch as well. So he did wear the Maximus back then. Now, from a tech feature perspective, this is a really interesting football boot because it kind of takes a couple different pieces of technology and puts it into one. Yes, typical 9-foot long lacing system from the Adidas brand. You could literally these are a size 9. You could probably lace up a size 19 with these laces. These will probably be going under the boot to tie, which actually might end up being pretty cool. But anyway, long laces, Diadora, come on. You gotta get with the times, do something a little bit different, or maybe I'll just cut them and stop complaining. Let me know down in the comment section below what I should do. So, as I said in the beginning of this video, this is premium quality leather. So basically from this seam here all the way around to this seam here, you get a beautiful premium quality leather. And when I say premium quality, I mean like proper premium quality. This isn't made in Italy leather is different from made in Japan leather. I don't believe this is K leather. I think this is like the highest quality treated calfskin leather. They don't specify, so my guess is this isn't K leather. Otherwise they would have said so, in my opinion. Regardless, it's very, very high quality, but it is quite different from made in Japan quality leather, which tends to be a lot thinner and a little bit lighter and kind of more cloud-like, as opposed to the made in Italy leather, both on a pair of Diadoras, on a pair of Allures, on a pair of Pantofolodoros. All of those companies tend to make leather that feels a little bit more substantial. It feels a little bit more like what the Roteros feel like. So a very, very beautiful and soft and cushioned and kind of pingy feeling that feels really elegant. That's more of the Italian leather style, whereas the made in Japan Mizuno products, Asics products is the same thing. Asics and the made in Japan leather products tend to be a lot thinner, a lot more technical, a lot lighter feeling on feet. So it just depends on what you like. Both are incredible quality, and the durability and quality of a boot like this is going to be pretty much better than everything else on the market because it is so robust and so beautifully soft and everything like that. So that's the leather forefoot. You do have the reversible tongue inspired by the iconic Diadora designs, of course, with the fold-over tongue. The original Maximus 14 did also have that reversible tongue as well. And by reversible, it just means fold-over. You do have a dual-density P-back sole plate here, so you do have this kind of interesting truss here in the midfoot, which is so stiff. That is impressive how stiff that is. I'm really putting effort into that, and it is not moving at all, which is awesome. So tons of structural stability through here, and then you do have a little bit of flex through that forefoot. This is a sole plate that is very snappy, very well built and aggressive, which is awesome. I love that. And it's all conical studs, which makes me really happy. So this is going to be a fun sole plate to play in, probably both on FG and on AG surfaces. You do have the Rotax 2.0 tech in the first metatarsal, which is right here. I'm not sure if this is going to make any sort of difference other than it's probably going to give you a little bit of extra rotational energy and ability, but they're just conical studs, so it's probably just a marketing thing. I wouldn't pay too much attention to that particular piece of it. Just know that with these conical studs that actually look quite similar from a circumference and length perspective as the Morelia Neo 4 series, which is great because these are, if it's anything similar to that, it's going to be an excellent playing experience. You do have a reinforced microfiber heel as well, which has a little bit of density to it. It is quite thick here on the lateral and medial sides right underneath the ankle, and it is a pretty stiff material right here, so I am hoping that this doesn't dig into my heel too much, and a pretty stiff heel tab, if I'm honest, as well. This whole heel area feels a little bit robust. Now that could mean two things. One is it could mean this is going to be a little problematic in the heel area and it won't be super comfortable, or if it fits me really well, it's going to be incredibly secure, incredibly tight fitting, and really comfortable to play in. That's going to be up to the on-feet portion of the video, but I am really hopeful that this pair will fit well because I do think that this is going to be a really fun pair to play in. A boot like this that's got a kind of synthetic reinforced heel area with a nice, beautifully soft and premium leather forefoot and midfoot, to be fair, is going to probably fit incredibly well, and I'm really excited to see how these fit and feel on feet. So without further ado, guys, let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video for the Maximus ITA T SLX. All right, fam, out in the backyard with the Diadora Maximus Elite ITA T SLX. I think that's the whole name. We're just going to refer to it as the Maximus Elite for now because that's just the way it is. And then the Maximus Veloce is the other pair that I will be reviewing very soon, right after this, real time, but you'll see it in probably a week or two. I'm actually really excited to try these on. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Very plush leather. Again, the sizing of these is really interesting because the Brazil Elite Veloce, which is based on a totally different last and silo to this, I wear in an 8.5, and it's longer than this, and this is a 9. Here we go. Oh, nice. Yeah, wow. Those fit perfectly. Look at that, right on the edge. There you go. There's where my toes are. Perfect. Just a little bit of room to break in, which is great because these boots obviously are fully leather, so they will absolutely stretch. Let's get these tied up nice and tight. Yeah, as I expected, these are really comfortable straight out of the box, even though the laces are 9 miles wide. Good Lord. Okay, we're just going to go, actually, let's do this. Let's go like that and under. Oh, goodness. That is so funny. Oh, and it ends up being right on where the little thing is for the tongue. Well, that's okay. Whatever. Maybe we'll tie them down here. And I know it's not the typical vibe for what it looks like. Like this isn't really what it should look like, but you'll get the idea anyway. And I'll have a good idea. And we can move it up a little bit. Like that. There we go. Okay. If you don't like being tied underneath, that's fine. I just haven't had a chance to actually cut the laces yet, so don't worry about it. Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, as far as how these fit, these are very good. Very good. Super comfortable. I would say if someone were to ask me, Noah, what do these compete with? Well, good question. I would argue that these compete with things like the Copa Icon. It's a very similar construction, very similar kind of layout with the studs, and you've got a pretty, like, relatively thicker, on the thicker side upper, and then you've got a really nice heel area and a pretty neutral stud pattern with a sole plate that's actually a little bit more aggressive than the Silo would probably suggest. Now, where do I think these stack up compared to those? Straight out of the box, these are miles better, in my opinion. And that's not me just saying that because I like the Copa Icon, it's fine. These are massively, massively comfortable. They've got decent lockdown in the heel area, like pretty good considering the shape and sort of the rigidity. If you remember in the unboxing portion of the video, I did say it was kind of either going to be one or the other. It was either going to be they're amazing for lockdown because they are quite stiff back in this area, but because they've made it really nice and padded, it was either that or they're going to fit perfectly and my heels are going to be super happy and comfortable. And I got to tell you what, it's the latter of the two. My heels are incredibly comfortable right now. No issues, no hot spots, and the forefoot of these boots, everything from the leather stitching forward feels absolutely fantastic. As I did say before, these are a pair of football boots that are not going to be for everyone. This is a much more padded and pillowy sensation of leather compared to a Mizuno product, an Asics product, or even previous generation Tiempos. It's very much made in Italy Diadora leather, which is typically a lot thicker. And that's what people look for when they look for that. It's a boot that, for lack of a better term, it protects your foot, so to speak. And I know I absolutely do not abide by that rule. I think that philosophy is really stupid, picking your football boots because of what protects you. But this is a pair of football boots that if you got stepped on, it's gonna hurt like a mother, but it's not going to hurt as much as getting ripped on in a pair of Vapors or a pair of F50s or something like that. So here you go. Here's a full look at the Diadora Maximus Elite. I got to be honest, if I were to close my eyes, I'd be very, very happy and impressed with how these fit and feel. And yes, they're not my favorite looking pair of football boots, but they are kind of retro and fun. As I said before, stylistically, they have a very cool look to them, very interesting look. Not a fan of the colorway. However, I do think that they are immensely comfortable out of the box. I cannot understate that enough. They feel super comfortable, very locked in actually for what they are. And I imagine they're gonna stretch and they're gonna feel not as locked in maybe as straight out of the box, but we'll see after some wear in time, several hours of play testing and training on my own and stuff like that. But just as they stand, I am so impressed with how these fit and feel, and they feel very, very secure. Like, I don't feel like I'm slipping at all in these. I think part of that comes down to the rigidity of the sole plate. So if you remember, the sole plate's very, very rigid through that midfoot, right here where the laces are going underneath the boot. And then that forefoot has not a ton of flexibility, as you can see. It's not bending too much, but it is giving me a little bit of snap so that I can be up on my toes and feel super neutral. Now, the sole plate and stud pattern is also really excellent. The stud pattern, particularly one of my favorites, because it's all conical studs and they're the perfect circumference and length so that they're able to dig into an AG pitch no problem, but they're also able to dig into an FG pitch without any issues as well. Touch on the ball is definitely as I expected it. It's very padded, very plush. You don't feel any, it's like the opposite of a barefoot touch on the ball, which is okay. Some people are gonna really like that. And I imagine for players who are looking for a high quality, well-built, no BS type of boot that they're just able to have a super consistent touch with and a really nice sort of plush pingy sensation, these are a boot you have to consider because the Maximus not only is an incredibly iconic pair of football boots being worn by some of the most amazing Italian players of all time, but it's also one of those boots that seemingly fits incredibly well, true to size, and is just going to do a lot really well. And I have very high hopes for these in terms of how these are going to perform in a play test. So stay tuned for that. I will try to get it out as quickly as I can. Obviously, lots of other content to film as well, but between the heel locked in sensation I'm having, between the sole plate feeling balanced and neutral, the upper feels absolutely fantastic. Yes, it is a little bit thicker, but I'm okay with that, knowing that I'm getting into a boot like this. If I'm going to take this off the shelf and use it over something else, it's absolutely a pair of football boots that I am prepared to wear on certain occasions, and I absolutely will pick these if I'm looking for that really plush and soft kind of pillowy sensation on feet. So that's gonna wrap up today's video of the, wait for it, Diadora Maximus Elite ITA T SLX. Did I get it? I hope. Okay, that's gonna be it for the video. If you did like that video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave your comments down in the description box below. And as always, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.